Good morning, Intenders.
Good morning.
Welcome back to Morning Intentions. Today is Monday, February 2nd, and that means it's time for our brand new theme for February.
Which we already announced.
Yeah, we already announced it. Annette, would you like to do the honors?
Last month was orientation. Now we're going to move into aligning. And what we mean by aligning is alignment with yourself. And we're going to explain that a little bit more today. And then next month, we're going to announce this today because we want you all to have an opportunity to get the book if you'd like. The book is written by Terry Cole. She is the author of Boundary Boss. And Ada and I took 2 of her trainings. They were life-changing, truly. Don't say that lightly. Everything we know about boundaries probably originated a little bit with Terry Cole's Boundary Boss and her related trainings. This book, it's called Too Much. The subtitle is A Guide to Breaking the Cycle of High-Functioning Codependency. Now you may say, orientation, alignment with self, high-functioning codependency, how does that fit? Well, it does fit because in February, we're going to learn about aligning with ourself. And then we're going to head off into high-functioning codependency because what happens is one of the major stumbling blocks to remembering your orientation, remembering how it feels to align with yourself is codependency, especially high-functioning codependency. And there's a difference between under-functioning codependency and high-functioning codependency, and we're going to get to that. Stay tuned. We're laying the groundwork. So if you want to be ready for our podcast in March, you don't have to have the book at all. It's only if you'd like to have the book. We'll be talking about the book. You'll know enough about the book that you don't have to get the book. But if you want the book, it's called Too Much. The author is Terry Cole. And Terry Cole is someone who's been a counselor for many years. She's kind of a no-nonsense type of person that I really enjoy her personality. So you can follow her on Instagram and other social media platforms. You don't need to do that, though. If you want to have the book in front of you when we're together in March, Too Much by Terry Cole. So let's get back to February's theme.
Yeah, we don't want to jump ahead.
No, that's
all.
just so everyone can get prepared if they want to have the book in front of them. But like I said, you don't need it. But for this month, we're going to talk about alignment with ourselves. I do want to share something that I read earlier today. When people are doing personal development work, remember there's only 25% of us that do personal development work. And for those of us that do personal development work, we can get caught up in making ourselves another project.
Like the achievement of it all.
Am I on the path? Am I on the right path? Am I far enough along the path? That can also create problems because then this is just another thing for us to do and another thing for us to worry whether we're doing it right. When we're talking about alignment with self, this is not a performance. This is not something that we try to achieve. It's something that builds on the orientation that we talked about all last month. Remember, last month we were listening and noticing. Listening and noticing. And from that listening and noticing, now we're going to take it one step further. And we're going to nurture our relationship with what's going on inside. So we listened. We noticed. What did we notice? We noticed our thoughts. We noticed our feelings. We may have noticed our energy level. Maybe we noticed our values or values that we don't have, values that we do have, and why some values are more important to us than others. We noticed our limits. And that's where we want to take that listening and noticing and then bring in alignment and be intentional about taking actions or having thoughts that are in alignment with what we noticed last month. But we don't want to get caught into making this a performance. Am I doing this right? Am I aligned right?
That's that perfectionistic attitude.
Right. So let's have an example. Remember just last week, I shared about how I had a hard time on a Tuesday because I didn't get enough sleep.
How could I forget?
You couldn't forget this, Ada. So when we were focusing on orientation, we were listening and noticing, and I was listening and I was noticing I show up better when I'm well rested.
You were checking in with your energy levels.
And I know it came abundantly clear that I need enough sleep. So now this month is to honor what I learned and noticed. That means maybe creating a change in my life structure so I can get enough sleep and I'm aligning with what I discovered last month. I might have to say no to invitations, say to go out to dinner or to join someone for a concert if I have work the next day. Because if I get home late and then I have to get up early, I won't be able to do it. Aligning is honoring what we learned last month. And remember, we learned last month, we know what we need. But then we sometimes just power through. Another example would be, which is a little different, we may know when we need a good cry. Our orientation was, I need to process this. I need a good cry. Listen and notice. But then if we are not aligned with ourselves and we shame ourselves for needing to cry, or engage in negative self-talk because we need to process our emotions and have a good cry, well, then we're not aligning with what we've learned and noticed. So we want to extend this out, but it's really not an achievement. It's an allowing.
I see it similar, the words I would use and the words I'm using for my own self. Alignment's not a goal that I'm trying to get to. It's a way of being as I move through life day to day.
And allow myself to move through life.
That's the key. It's that allowing. We have to allow ourselves to align because there can be so many signals in the world from our childhood socialization. There could be friends and family and coworkers, the news saying you should show up a certain way. A podcast we listen to can say this is how you should show up if you want to be the best at whatever. We have to tune in. We have to go into that orientation and then live out our orientation and allow ourselves to do without shame, without judgment, and without saying, "Ooh, I don't know," to be our honest and authentic selves. And Annette always says it's more honest. And I love that she reminds us of that because I want to be an honest person. I know Annette wants to be an honest person, and so many people that we meet want to be honest people. But we do want to be honest, and we want to show up as those honest and authentic selves. And we do that through orienting first, listening and noticing, and then what this month is all about, aligning with ourselves. So our first intention of February is, I will nurture my relationship to what is going on inside. I will nurture my relationship to what is going on inside. Thank you so much for joining us today. Our day is better because you are part of our day. See you tomorrow.
See you then.
And with that, our first intention of February is